Hey everyone, welcome. Ever wanted to make your command line scripts way smarter and a whole lot less repetitive? Well, understanding variables is the absolute key. Today, we're going to break down Bash variables in a way that's simple, practical, and something you can use right away. Let's dive right in. Okay, so before we even touch the keyboard, let's get one simple idea locked into our heads. A variable is just a labeled box. That's it. You give the box a name, you put something inside it, could be some text, could be a number, and then whenever you need that information again, you just call it by the box's name. If you can remember this box idea, honestly, the rest of this is going to be a piece of cake. So how do we actually work with these boxes in our code? Well, it turns out there are just a couple of golden rules for creating and using them. Once you see the syntax, you'll realize just how straightforward this all is. It really just breaks down into 3 simple steps. First, you give your box a name. Here, we'll just call it city. Step 2, you put something in it using an equals sign. Now listen up, because this is the #1 thing that trips people up. There can't be absolutely no spaces on either side of that equals sign. It has to be city equals Pune, all squished together. And finally, step 3, to see what's inside the box, you just put a $sign in front of its name, like echo $city. That's the whole pattern. Name it, fill it, and read it. All right, enough with the theory. We've got the rules down. Now let's see this stuff in action. Honestly, the best way to really get a feel for variables is to see how they work in a few practical, everyday examples. The most common thing you're probably going to use a variable for is just storing text, or what programmers call a string. It's perfect for any piece of information you think you might need to use more than once. So check this out. See how much cleaner this is? We define the name and the role just one time, right at the top. Then later on in our echo commands, we just use $name and $role. When Bash sees that $sign, it knows, aha, I need to go find that box and replace this with whatever's inside. And the best part, if the name changes, you only have to update it in one single spot. And boom, here's what you get. It's exactly what we expected. Bash perfectly swapped out $name and $role with the text we stored. This is a perfect illustration of how variables keep your code super tidy and way easier to manage down the road. But hey, variables aren't just for text. You can also use them to hold numbers, which basically turns your script into a powerful little command line calculator. So here, we're putting 10 into a variable named A and 20 into B. Okay, now, I want you to pay close attention to this sum line. To tell Bash, hey, I'm not just storing text, I want you to actually do math. You have to use this special syntax, a $sign followed by 2 parentheses, like $A plus B. That's the signal to Bash to treat everything inside as a math problem and give you the answer. And there you have it, 30. It's that simple. This method works for addition, subtraction, multiplication, you name it, all by using variables to hold on to your numbers. Okay, so far, all our scripts have been pretty static, right? We've been hard-coding all the values inside the script itself. But what if we want to make our scripts interactive? Well, we can use variables to grab information directly from the user. The magic command here is read. It's so simple. When the script gets to the line read name, it just stops. It waits. It waits for the user to type something and hit enter. And as soon as they do, whatever they typed gets scooped up and put right into our name variable. And just like that, our script isn't just a monologue anymore. It's a conversation. The user types a dash, and the script immediately uses that value to say hello. This is a super powerful building block for making tools that actually adapt to whoever's using them. All right, now that we've got the basics down, let's kick it up a notch. Let's see how variables let our scripts start making decisions and doing repetitive work for us. This is where they go from being simple storage boxes to being the heart and soul of intelligent automation. This is where things get really cool. One of the most powerful things you can do in a script is make a decision. And with variables, we can write code that checks what's in a box and then does one thing or another based on what it finds. So let's break this down. First, we put the number 18 into our age variable. Then, the if statement checks the condition. Is the value inside the $age box greater than or equal to 18? That's what GE means. In this case, it's true, so the script runs the command to echo you are eligible. But if the age was, say, 16, that condition would be false, and the script would run the command in the else block instead. And because our age variable was 18, the script did exactly what it was supposed to do. It made the right choice. The amazing thing is, by changing the value in that one little variable at the top, you can completely change the script's behavior without rewriting a single piece of logic. Okay, but what if you need to do the same thing over and over and over again? Well, that is a perfect job for a loop, which, you guessed it, uses a variable to keep track of where it's at. This for loop is like an assembly line for automating repetition. It takes a list of items, in this case the numbers 1 through 5, and a temporary variable, which we're calling I. The loop then runs its code block once for every single item on that list. So the first time through, I is 1. The second time through, I becomes 2, and so on, all the way until it runs out of numbers. And check out the result. That one single line of code, echo number $I, ran 5 separate times. And each time, the variable I held a different value from our list, giving us 5 unique lines of output. This is the very core of how you automate tons of work with just a tiny bit of code. Okay, we are almost home. Before we wrap this up, I want to quickly show you a special kind of variable, and then we'll do a lightning recap of those golden rules. So get this, your system actually has a whole bunch of these boxes already set up and filled in for you. They're called system variables or environment variables. A great example is $user. It always contains the username of whoever is currently logged in. You don't have to create it or fill it, it's just there, waiting for you to use it. All right, let's do a quick-fire recap of the absolute must-know rules. Number 1, and please don't forget this one, no spaces around the equal sign when you assign a value. Number 2, always use a $sign to read what's inside a variable. 3, for any math, you gotta use that special $curly brackets syntax. And finally, number 4, use the read command when you need to get input from your user. If you can master these 4 rules, you have mastered the fundamentals of Bash variables. So there you have it. You now have the single most fundamental building block for all shell scripting. Seriously, every powerful script out there, from a simple little tool that greets you by name to a complex system that automates your entire workday, it's all built on this one simple idea of storing information in a variable. So now the only question left is, what are you going to build first?